I spend 14 hours of my day thinking I've lost the home, I've lost $5,000. I'm going to have to go find a rental now. And then he calls me up. He says, "Oh no, man, it's fine. We'll go conventional." So I just wanted to run away and hide.
Right. My life was ending yesterday, but thank you.
Don't mind me.
Welcome to the real estate industry, where everyone's an expert and everyone's trying to make money off of you, the consumer. So where do you go if you just want the truth about how this all works? Welcome to Real Estate for Consumers with me, Wendy Gilch, founder of Selling Later and Consumer Advocate. We'll learn how the industry really works, how all of these companies profit from you, and who the good players are in the industry. We'll share stories from actual sellers and buyers to learn how they bought or sold, what they learned, and what they would have done differently. Learn the truth about the industry from people who aren't trying to make a dollar off of you.
I am from Las Vegas, and I purchased my first home with my wife here in Las Vegas last July. So
What part
July
of
2021?
What part of Vegas are you in?
Technically Henderson. So sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I have
Henderson
a friend that
is
lives
a
there.
suburb of Las Vegas, but
Yeah.
I still think of it as Las Vegas. But yeah, right here in Green Valley in Henderson.
So you bought in Vegas, you lived in Vegas. Did you move far? Or was that 10 minutes, 30 miles?
Yeah, probably 10 minutes. Probably 10 minutes away from where we were renting. And we had been renting together we had rented 2 homes together. Before that, we had rented a few apartments. And we're looking at the rental market. I think here is, like you said, it's gone up 30-40%.
That's crazy.
And they will find people at those prices. Like, that's what's crazy is you just, as a renter, you have to take it or you're not going to get the house.
And here's my question, because this is a big conversation of renters and institutional investors versus home buyers.
Sure.
Is your mortgage more or less than what you paid in rent?
It's more, but part of that is because my rent was far below market value.
Okay.
So we were paying about $1,500 a month in rent when the comparable market had that home at about $1,900 to $2,100.
Okay.
And my mortgage is right around $2,000.
Okay.
So I would say that was just, we were really benefiting from getting into the rent before rent started really taking off here.
Right. Yeah. I was reading recently, some of the rents have gone up 30. Someone told me their landlord tried to up it 40%.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
I had a client who told me that her landlord had approached her about a 35% increase, and she was able to negotiate them down to 20%.
Wow.
Because she said she would take on some of the pool maintenance and the landscaping maintenance. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. The reason why you rent, right? So you don't have to do that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. So was this your first time buying?
Yes.
Okay. And what triggered the move? What made you want to buy?
My landlord came to me and said that he was going to give the house to his daughter.
So I had out you go, right?
So I had 6 months. So he told me that in April, or maybe it may have been February, sometime between February and April. I want to say it was April.
Okay.
And we were able to buy in July. So yeah, February or April, he told me that, and we got out. Yeah.
Okay. So were you thinking about buying before you got told that you're getting kicked out?
Yes, but then, seeing the market, I had kind of taken a wait and see approach.
Okay.
Because so I graduated high school right in 2007. So I saw the recession. And
right.
I saw the opportunities that some people had. And so my hope is that this was some kind, not necessarily a crash, but that there would be some kind of a correction, and I would be able to I was in a position to start looking at buying a house. We had some money saved up. We were in a position to buy, but I figured, well, why not wait? We have such a great rent deal. What we have going right now is working. Let's see if we can wait out this market.
Right.
Because we had kind of explored it in January. We had gone through a pre-approval, and the number we had gotten pre-approved for was fine, but it wasn't as big as I had wanted. And I just so I was really trying to hold off, and then obviously kind of had my hand forced.
Right. So. Did you talk to a lender first then, or an agent?
Yes. So I was training a realtor who set me up with his lender. Okay. And we went through that process in January of 2021.
Okay.
And we got pre-approved for $375,000, which was fine. What was funny for me about that was a number that my parents would have never been pre-approved for. I mean, right. I was sitting here really? Holy cow, that seemed like a lot of money. And then you started looking at housing markets, and I realized it wasn't.
Right.
And at least for what I wanted as far as a house and the area of town I needed to be in for my business. And so, yeah, so we had just kind of decided to hold off. And then again, when he said we had to be out by the end of our lease, then full steam ahead. So
Right. Right. And so did you end up using your realtor friend or did you find someone else?
no, so we started off with him, and it was a pretty bad experience. He did not make me feel very valued when we wanted to look at homes. He would set me up with somebody under him. And I kind of got the sense that he was really only willing to go look at $1 million homes because another client who actually had referred him to me as his personal trainer, she had bought 4 homes from him last year that were all over $1 million. And I saw him constantly with her.
Wait a minute. She bought 4 houses over $1 million.
That's a whole nother story. She
Oh,
bought
it's
some
like a
houses
whole
for
other
that.
world for me
Yeah,
here.
that's a whole. Yeah, I don't have that kind of money. So I had seen those interactions, and I had kind of expected that type of treatment. I expected him to be there, and again, as a new home buyer, you don't know, like you think they're actually putting in a ton of work. And then, this is no disrespect to realtors,
Right. Right.
but putting me on a drip campaign, I've seen that now. That took you 2 seconds.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, that doesn't, what does that mean to me? Like, you're not really spending time. Like, I
Right.
would have to reach out to him, say, hey, I saw this house on the email. Oh, well, let me go look at it.
Right. Did he did he send you MLS listings or was it all you
Yeah, yeah.
deciding the,
Yeah,
okay.
no, it was MLS listings. Yeah, but again, to me, that just doesn't, like,
Right.
I'm still having to reach out to you saying, hey, I saw this house. Do you
Right.
know anything about it? Oh, well, let me go look. And then it takes a day. And then by then the house is gone.
Right.
And
Right.
that was the experience.
Yeah.
In
I
Vegas.
see a lot of people I'm like such a Reddit junkie. I don't know if you've been in
Oh,
the
I
real
love
estate.
Reddit.
Oh my
Yeah,
God. The real estate group is my favorite. Real estate and first time home buyers. I'm always like
sure.
floating around in there. I've got like 4 names because I never know what I want to say, if it's going to be
Yeah.
legal or not, or if I'll get in trouble. But I see that a lot now where buyers are saying like, should my agent be doing something? Like, why am I sending them everything? And
That was,
it's a good point. I mean, my mom worked for a real estate agent office. She was like the office manager. And it was like in the times where you had a CD-ROM and you had to like go to the office and they printed out pictures for you, where you would like open thumbnail by thumbnail on your computer and it would take 10 minutes, and so you look at like what is commission now versus like what 20, 30 years ago, and everything's different. I know the process of once you put an offer in, there's tons of stuff to do. And I know in this market right now, I know like not a lot of agents are making money because they're writing in like 30 offers and maybe one is accepted.
Yep.
But I think it's valid to say like, why am I doing all the work? Why am I looking for all the homes? Like if that's
kind of created a sense of like, what's the purpose of a realtor?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. When you're searching for stuff, like if you're not going to tell me, hey, I wouldn't look at this home, there's X, Y, and Z. But like when you're just hanging on Zillow, who's just selling your data to everyone and anyone that will find it,
Well, and actually, to your point about whether I should buy this home or not. So that first realtor, so I literally looked at one home and I was so pissed off at the interaction. So I went to one home, I met I don't want to, I mean, not to be disrespectful, but it just seemed like an apprentice, like some guy. And he shows up and he's wearing the suit and tie. He's got a brochure about this house and about their,
who looks at a brochure? Just send me an email.
His name.
Waste of money.
I'm a personal trainer out of my garage. I'm very easygoing. Like I don't care. Like I preferred you showed up in jeans and a t-shirt and we're looking at things. So he takes me through the house. He basically he had never seen the house before. So he just opens the door for me and then stands in the living room while I go look around the house by myself. He had no information about the house. He had no idea how many offers. So then I have to go back in my car. I emailed the original guy and say, hey, it's a little small, but I'll consider it based on this, this, and this. What are some of the offers? Well, Jake, even if it's small, you should still make an offer. Just make an offer anyways. It's okay. And it was like very close to our limit. It was a 1,200 square foot house. I've got a 4-year-old and 2 dogs.
Right.
It's in the right area, but it didn't fit any of my other criteria. And I'm like, wow, but I should just make an offer.
Right.
What if they accept it?
Right. Thanks for your guidance. I really appreciate it.
Like that, my situation and you knew what I wanted. I wanted a 3-car garage. I wanted a pool if possible. I wanted a finished backyard. This backyard was shit. It was, I needed at least 1,500 square feet. You got to have some type of room. It had 2 bedrooms. so that really, left me salty. So at that point, I had turned to my wife and said, hey, she had a couple friends from high school who were young realtors.
Mhm.
One of them was, I think, 2 years in, and then another one, he'd literally been started, I guess, maybe a year or two after high school. So he'd been about 10, 12 years here in the Vegas Valley.
Mhm.
Very successful realtor, very popular on social media, kind of one of these social media realtors. He's got the quirky
Right.
personality.
Right.
At first, I was kind of hesitant to work with him too much, but then at that point, we kind of pivoted to working with those two. 8 weeks or so, we were pretty much kind of playing the two of them. Nobody ever made us sign anything. We
Right.
were
Right.
totally fine, and each of them were putting in offers on stuff. They were a little bit better. At least they were willing to meet me at houses in person.
Right.
Right. So at least I'm actually meeting with my realtor. I'm not meeting.
What an effort. What an
Exactly.
effort.
Thank you. And so, and to be fair, again, it was a lot of driving and all that. I appreciate their time. But kind of the same thing. Like, it was just, well, even if it's a crap house, might want to get it because, got to have something. And I mean, some of these houses that they just tell me no, like,
Yeah.
don't get this house. Like, we'd walk in, like one house we walked into, and they had some creepy room that they had built out in the garage. And I walk in, I'm like, I don't know. He's like, well, you could always get rid of that. I'm like,
what's that going to cost?
Yeah. That's the thing, like, especially when, we're kind of at the upper limit of our pre-approval. And then some of the offers that we were kind of considering, I mean, they were extremely scary. I mean, we're talking thousands over listing, things that as a first-time home buyer, I kind of would have just appreciated, hey, let's just keep looking,
Right.
like, this is probably going to be a real big stress on you guys, and so, yeah, that was kind of the initial realtor search process for us.
Right. It's hard, especially when you're like, oh, my friend of a friend, but it's
Or a
almost,
client.
yeah. Oh yeah. I can't even.
This process that did turn into me and him no longer speaking.
Right. And somebody said the other day, and I totally agree with this. Like, I wish I would have picked a stranger, because
Yep.
then there's
Yep.
I don't have to talk to them about money. Like, if you're private about that, I'm not, but whatever. But if you don't like the person, you're kind of like, okay, well, I'm either going to like have a bad experience or lose a friend. Like,
Yep.
which one do I want to pick?
Yep.
And that's hard. And so how did you eventually find your house? And was it like the dream house, or was it like a compromise, but this is good?
It's been a very great starter home. It's a perfect location. So basically, we probably put in 20 to 30 offers.
Whoa, what? 20 to 30
offers on various homes in the valley. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty terrible. There was even at one point where he actually asked us to write a letter, like begging, and it was just kind of like, that's not how I wanted this to be.
Right.
That home, we were one of, I think, 39 offers.
Oh my
gosh. So in Vegas, that's very typical right now, or at least it was. I think it's kind of cooling off now, but at least it was last year. So this home, we saw it. We messaged him the listing and said, hey, we're interested in this, but it was one of like 6 at the same time. So we went out with him and looked. Actually, no, he was out of town. So we went with one of his assistants. We walked in and we just kind of said, yeah, make an offer, whatever. There were some things that we knew we'd want to change, but it definitely checked off all the boxes. It had no HOA. It was in a great area. And there were things that we could do fairly cheap that would really make it absolutely a wonderful starter home.
Right.
Turns out, and I hope this isn't, I hope I'm not getting anybody in trouble if this
no. Okay.
Turns out he knew the listing agent.
Okay.
He didn't remember how he knew them, but this listing agent told him, oh, I owe you a favor. So I get the sense that there weren't any other offers. I think we were the only offer that they ever took.
Okay.
And they basically worked together to make it this super clean offer that would be good enough for us, good enough for the seller. Our appraisal came in literally at the number.
Oh, really? Do you ever wonder about that sometimes? Like,
kind of weird.
Totally spot on, and you're paying over. Who knows? It's
nothing over, nothing under. Unfortunately, that part of the process too, I felt like was just very unnecessarily stressful. Getting into the actual buying process, but that was how we found the house.
Right.
Then at that point, my biggest complaint probably would be about the process with my lender.
That was going to be my next question. How did you find your lender? Was it online or was it?
No, it was that previous lender. So I went back to the first lender.
Right. Okay.
That first lender had set me up with my client realtor.
Okay.
And we ghosted the client realtor, got my new realtor in touch with that lender.
Okay.
And fortunately, during the buying process, that lender didn't say anything to the previous realtor.
Oh, right.
Now, I'm pretty sure he did after, which
right,
is why
right.
but at
Right.
least during the process, because I feel like that realtor may have made some problems for me.
Oh,
Uh,
gotcha.
who knows? I don't
Yeah,
know the ins
I
and outs
know.
of
I
it,
know.
but my
It's hard.
mind can go bad places.
Yeah. Hey, after being learning about this industry for like 2 or 3 years, I'm skeptic of everything. Like I'm always looking for like, what's your take? Like, how are you making money off of this? And yeah, I'm a total skeptic now, but sorry, go ahead. So what
Yeah.
happened with your lender?
Um, just no communication.
Okay.
So you get an email saying, "Hey, we need these documents." No phone call, no walking me through the process. And what frustrated me was he did all that to get me pre-approved. So pre-approved, he's super nice, available the whole time, walking me through everything. As soon as we're pre-approved, I felt like, yeah, cool, man. Like you're a number now. I'll get to you when I get to you.
Right.
So we're getting documents in. His assistant's not uploading them in time. So then I upload them. Then there's double uploads. Then there's, well, we don't have this. Well, no, it's in your email and it wasn't, and all that. I think we were like a week away from closing. Everything had gone pretty well. The inspections went well. Appraisal obviously turned out good. Then we get to the part, we were an FHA loan originally. Okay. And then we get to the VAERS report and I had to submit some tax information, and me and my wife had forgotten about a student loan that was on her record as a default.
Okay.
So it's a defaulted federal student loan. So of course I do Google search and see how that's absolutely going to flunk my VAERS report. I'm out now because we waived, of course, contingencies. So I'd be out the $5,000 earnest money. And I didn't think I had any other option. I thought that was the only loan. Well, so I spend 14 hours of my day thinking I've lost the home, I've lost $5,000. I'm going to have to go find a rental now in a market where I may not be able to.
Right.
And then he calls me up. He says, "Oh no, man, it's fine. We'll go conventional." And he says it just like that. Like, "No, I knew this the whole time, man. You're fine." So I just wanted to run away and hide.
Right. My life was ending yesterday, but thank you.
Don't mind me. No, don't mind me. It's fine. And it just all worked out. Like, "Oh no, it's fine. We'll go conventional. It's actually easier and better." And I'm like, well, that might have been nice to know.
Right.
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 Because I had called him freaking out saying, "Hey, this is going to come up and we're not going to get the," "Yeah, probably not, but we'll deal with that." I'm like,
oh my God. Oh.
well, so how are we going to deal with that? Like, what do you mean? "Oh, I'll take care of it. You're fine."
Right.
And again, like you said, I'm so skeptical when people say that. I'm like, "No, I'm not. Like, what do you mean? Like, you're not providing me any evidence of that." So then it was fine. We got the house and it went through and everything was good.
Right. It's interesting, like that communication phase. I've noticed a trend of like when the offer is accepted, the agent peters off a little bit.
Oh yeah, he was non-existent after that.
And it's like, this is like where you have like the intensity and the question and like the reassurance. Like, I don't care if everything's good. I just want you to tell me like once a week, everything's good, right? Or like, don't worry about
the last week, maybe every day call me and tell me that.
Right,
not to be too prissy or a baby, but like, come on.
Right. Like, here's what we have coming up next, or here's, and I would assume a lender would be in like overdrive once the offer is accepted, but it sounds like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of money and that's a really big decision for people. So that's fascinating to me that the communication just kind of craps out for some people, not everybody, but
so then we go to sign all the documents and the escrow agent pops in. First time I've met her, says, "Oh, hi, I'm so-and-so, your escrow agent. Do you guys have any questions?" Well, no.
Not now.
Not now. It took us 10 minutes to sign all the papers. There were no questions. There was no real explanation of anything given.
Did you read everything?
10 minutes? No, it was like a stack of papers. So, and honestly, at that point, I was so frustrated with everything. I just said, "You know what? If there is something bad in here, I guess I'll deal with it." Right. And you're just like, you're so over it. You're just signing whatever, whatever. So that was a little frustrating too. They want their picture, and then we got the keys the next day. And then our agent showed up, took his picture. He gave me a list of people that I could call for any work, and see ya. Was
that the last time you've heard from him?
I got an auto text, I think, saying happy 6 months of owning your home. But that was another thing. And I don't mean to sound, again, I don't want to sound like I'm an entitled little homeowner, but I'm guessing you made a commission. Could I get like a new home gift?
Right. I mean, probably. I'm sure
because I know other realtors. Like I see I have one client who she gives people like custom artwork. Right. And again, I'm not like, man, a cleaning basket.
Right.
No, you came and took a picture of us. I mean,
for
come
your
on.
social media to sell to other people that how
Exactly.
great you are.
Exactly.
I think that's the hard part is like, as consumers, we pay for everything, but like we're kind of just used along the way to like help them sell themselves. Right. And I get it. It's a commission based, sales based
sure.
business, but like to a degree, it's like, where's the appreciation or like, I know I'm really happy you helped me, but like you probably made like $10,000 off of me,
Right.
like a gift card or a thank you would be nice
Yeah.
instead of like, look at these clients, I sold their home, call
Right.
me,
Right.
Yeah, no,
And then he's asking for a review, like what do you
right,
think, which he did not
right.
get.
And that's what concerns me because we talk about reviews and we're trying to figure out how to clean this up and selling later. But like if you're angry, you likely don't leave a review unless you're like really mad and you want to make others aware. But if you're like and you don't really care, you probably don't do it. So like all these reviews are like 4 stars, and you're like, okay, well, like some of them are like there's like 5 reviews in 2 weeks, and I'm like, well, I know you didn't close that many homes in 2 weeks. So like, are these your friends? Like, are
Yep,
they? You just have no idea, right?
for sure.
No idea. Okay, so what was your first big purchase after closing?
I did a lot because I did a home gym. So
Okay.
I did a lot of electrical work in the gym. I'd probably so $3,500 turf project in the backyard, a $2,000 driveway upgrade, paint in the house. So that was about 1,500. Oh, we put a wall in a room. Yeah. So we had this like accordion sliding wall. That was
Oh,
interesting. It was like a relic from the 70s.
I didn't
So
know
yeah,
they
so
existed.
we replaced that and put in like an actual wall.
Okay.
Um, but I think those would be the biggest purchases.
Right. What was the first thing that broke?
So far we've been very lucky and
Hmm.
haven't had any
Don't
major.
answer. Don't answer that then. Never mind. Don't jinx yourself.
I mean, we've had a
Don't
couple
jinx yourself.
leaks, but nothing. Yeah, nothing crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Looking back, if you had to do it differently, what would you have done?
I
Top
think,
two.
like you said, like definitely a stranger for the realtor. That because that definitely, looking back on it, that probably affected some things because you're trying to be nice instead
Yeah.
of being a little more, firm with kind of what you want, what you're okay with. And honestly, like I'm not necessarily mad at him. It's more just it wasn't the experience that you think you're going to get as a first time home buyer.
Right. Well, it's not
So,
what NAR sells to you sometimes, right? Like, and there are really great agents out there, but there's so many of them that you have no idea if yours is good, bad, or until
yeah.
you're like in the thick of it. And then what? Start
And,
over or
and he's a nice person. Like he
yeah.
really is. Like, I believe he's a good person. He was very nice about everything. But it just wasn't the experience I wanted. And then I guess just don't buy a house in the middle of a pandemic, or
Yeah.
just a
If it were
financial
only
crisis.
that
That
easy,
would be what
right?
because it wasn't. I mean, look, we at the end of the day, I have to say, like we got the house, like we got a house that's affordable. We got a
Mhm.
house that checked all the major boxes for my business and no HOA in a great part of Henderson. So
Right.
the end result was what I wanted. It was just I felt like there were some unnecessary parts of the process that could have been solved by just simple communication
Right.
and people like just caring a bit. Like, hey, I know this is super stressful. I know what you're dealing with sucks. But like again, if my mortgage lender would have just said, "Hey, man, just so you know, if the FHA doesn't work out like you're saying it probably won't, we can go conventional." And it's
Right.
only going to cost you X amount more.
Right. Right.
So that like, those things probably would have transformed my entire perspective on this.
Right.
But it's more the fact that I was allowed to stress because it felt like they were trying to let me stress so that it seemed like they were saving the day.
I
And I
gotcha.
hate that. Like, no, you didn't save anything.
Yeah. You
Oh,
made me freak out for a while, right?
yeah, like you're not this wonderful lender that I pulled something out. I'm magical. You just did something that was already there. You had two choices. You just hid the one from me.
Right. Right. And
And maybe
never.
that's on me for not doing my research. But again, I'm a first time home buyer.
What advice would you give for buyers?
Keep expectations very, very low. No, and not like to be negative about it, but just it's you're going to have there's going to be ups and downs for sure. So the more you can try not to get too high or too low, I that's because it's an emotional process. Your finances are exposed. You're making, again, first time home buyer, to you that's a huge purchase. You've never done it before. and you're in my experience, you're dealing with people who they know the ins and outs so well, but they aren't great at communicating it. So you kind of have to just back off. And if you really care, go do some research. But yeah, just keep your expectations low as far as the red carpet experience. I think the way I saw my parents buy homes growing up, where it was this, whole day thing, and the realtor shows up with water and treats for the kids. And it's this really nice process of going and seeing homes and being told like, nope, this isn't a good home. I remember with my parents, when we moved to Vegas, they had realtors straight up be like, I don't like this house.
Right.
If you do, I'm saying I don't, and that meant a lot, when you get that honest feedback from people. And to make sure and so 2 pieces of advice. So keep expectations low and make sure you're in order with your finances. Because that was one thing that saved me, is the fact that I've run my own business for so long that I had everything was left. I can just email it. Because I can't imagine when I was younger trying to buy a house, because I wouldn't have had any idea where to find things.
Oh yeah.
So the more you have stuff scanned in, the more you have stuff already on computers, like it just saves you so much time. Because that was one thing that my lender's assistant said, was she couldn't believe how quickly I would just get things to her.
Right.
I'd get an email in the morning, boom, 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 here you go. And then I'm up her butt saying, hey, where's this? Why isn't this uploaded? You told me to email you. So I'm sure I was annoying them, but whatever.
But you have to be, right? Because like one mistake means like you're either going to delay your closing or lose the home. So would you rather be overly communicative or risk messing it up? Right. I don't blame you. I know what I want to ask you. So after 20 or 30 offers, at what point did you feel like, okay, we got to lower our expectations? Or did you do that from the beginning? Or was there a point where you realized that?
Well, we got to a point where we couldn't even remember which homes we made offers on.
Oh, geez.
So we would have stuff come back in and they'd be like, hey, did you want to go see this house? And we walked in and we're like, okay, cool. Yeah, we like it. Let's make an offer. And the person in there's like, you already have. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Great. Glad we still like it. I wasn't going to worry about changing anything. We could afford what we were pre-approved for. So I didn't want to go any lower than that, because I knew I was going to be getting a smaller home, trashier home, or in a bad part of town. But I was definitely getting ready to start looking at rentals for sure. Probably about a month away from that.
Okay.
Because with the same thing with the rental market is it was so fast, it didn't make sense to bother looking for something 3 months out. We were going to stay in that home until the end of the lease. If we had to, and then go from there. But for me, there really weren't too many options because of the way I work. So I had to be in a certain part of town. Otherwise, all my clients leave. So it's like, cool, you bought a house and you just lost your whole business.
Right. I'm not driving the extra 10 minutes to come see you. Right.
Unfortunately, in Vegas, it's almost 5 minutes. Yeah, people sometimes will do that. Like, well, it's 10 minutes, 7 minutes further. And I'm like,
but I'm a really good trader. Yeah.
People who lived in California who will drive 40 minutes because they're like, it's not 2 hours, so we're fine.
Right.
So yeah, no, I don't think I ever really changed, what I was looking at, or you have what you need. And it's kind of like, hey, this is what we need. And if we can find something great, if not, then I'll go find it in a rental. But obviously I didn't want to rent.
It's like what I was talking to someone the other day about what's affordable. And I'm like, a $300,000 house is what's considered affordable now. And I'm like, that's high, right? For when you look at the median average income of a family, I don't think this matches. I don't think this is anywhere near.
So my first home was almost twice as much at what my dad bought here when they moved back to Vegas in 2004. And he worked for the Nevada State Attorney General's office.
Wow.
He had 6 figures, great benefits. My mom worked part-time. I'm just a personal trainer, and my income is fine, it's there, but on paper, it's not even close to that. I have so many write-offs. That was why. So me and my wife it's in both of our names, because she had the W-2 tax, and then I had, so I have enough cash. I show you all day on a spreadsheet how much money I make.
Right.
But unfortunately, when it comes tax time, I lose a ton of that in write-offs.
Right.
And so yeah, it baffles me that my first home was almost twice as much as what my dad paid.
Right.
In 2004.
Right.
It's not that, not to me anyways.
For me, I'm like, that feels like a couple of years ago, but I feel I feel like anytime someone talks about the 90s or something, I'm like,
that was 10 years ago.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, that wasn't that far ago. I'm turning 40 this year. That wasn't too long ago. Right. And
sure.
And then when your kids remind you that you're old, I'm like, wait a minute, like what? Have a story you think would help future sellers and buyers, or have a question about how everything works? Reach out to us at realestateforconsumers.com.